And we're on there. Good evening, everyone. I'm Galahad. I'll be having a word with my friend Branches. We'll be discussing the UK manifesto. We are coming in your ears. How you doing, Branches?
Hello, I'm doing just fine.
Excellent. So we're going to go through some of the manifestos tonight. Obviously, I've not read them all fully. I've heard, little snippets, but I want to, go through and listen to what all the parties are. Most of it's going to be totally bollocks, to be honest. No matter who you vote for, it's more a case of choosing your poison. What are you thinking of this election? The same?
More or less. At the moment, it's pretty much a Conservatives are bust, which can't say I'm incredibly happy about, but there we go. We'll get onto that soon enough.
We will. Yeah, there's a few things that I've heard that I heard Sargon, if I can mention, that I'm not too pleased about with the Tories, but I'm probably still going to vote for them despite that.
Yeah, I think that's how most people are feeling.
Yeah, so it's basically pick your poison. It's kind of like you're getting a norovirus with the Tories, whereas it's like AIDS or cancer with the SNP, Labour, or Greens.
As always, UKIP.
Well, I suppose. Well, I'm not fond of their leader, to be honest. I preferred Farage.
Everyone preferred Farage.
Anyway, so what manifesto do you want to go through first, then?
I have got them all open. Shall we go left wing or right wing?
Let's start on the left.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's start with... let's do the Lib Dems. I'm feeling Lib Dems.
Lib Dems. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to get it up on my browser as well, but yeah, you can just start by saying what you need to about their manifesto.
I will link you to it. There we go.
I found it.
Right.
Cheers, anyway.
Okay. Right. Well, I have to say, I haven't actually read their manifesto yet. This will be the first chance, but based on the foreword that I'm reading right now and everything else they've been putting out over the past few months, what they are basically doing is putting themselves in a position where they want to become the opposition to the Conservatives. Pretty much everything in here is, we cannot allow the Conservatives to have power. It should be someone else, which is pretty much what they're doing. It's a very tactical move on their part. Not much focus on policy.
It's not a party that's going to get into power, but they're going to try and do some damage limitation wherever they can. Obviously, my main gripe with them is that they'll want to overturn the EU result. They're not really keeping that a secret, to be honest.
Yes, that's the main problem. These are the people that claim they want a united Britain.
Yeah, I've got their manifesto open now, and yeah, there's quite a few EU flags in one of their little rallies.
There's an EU flag. There's an EU flag in front of the British flag in their pictures. That's pretty telling.
How many pictures have they got in their manifesto?
There's a few. There's got one of this is bad. I've forgotten the guy's name now.
Crap. Oh, we've got people watching, or one person watching.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, Scottish individual. How you doing, man? The Tories or Corbyn, Sturgeon and Farron? Fuck me. It really is choosing between AIDS and cancer in every cell of your body. Yeah, that's a pretty good analysis. But I'd rather have the Tories and their norovirus than the SNP and their cancer, or Labour and their AIDS, or whatever you want to put it as.
Well, if we're going by that analogy, then the Tories would be AIDS.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You can do more to stay alive with AIDS. You can at least live with it. Cancer will eventually kill you.
Yeah.
Not that it's a good life with AIDS, but it won't kill you straight away.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the Lib Dems and some of their policies. Your chance to change Britain's future by changing the opposition mentioned before.
Right. Do you want to jump straight to the policies or read through some of the fluff?
It's up to you. I mean, I don't know if there's any point. If you want to, that's fine. If not, we'll just go to the policies.
All right, we'll just jump straight to 1.2, which is in the policy, which is fighting a hard Brexit.
Imagine my surprise.
Okay, protection of rights for EU and UK citizens. We'll press for the right to guarantee the rights of UK nationals, EU nationals in the UK. Yeah, we expect this.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this is the thing I expect from a lot of the major parties to come out and say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I don't find that
honest,
too unreasonable.
Yeah. No, well, I've got my brother-in-law who's Slovakian, and obviously, even when we get a hard Brexit, I don't see him like just getting rounded up and deported, as with other EU migrants. But some who have maybe got a criminal record, they'll be like in jeopardy.
Yeah, well, that's fine. They're criminals. We should be deporting foreign criminals.
Oh, absolutely. But obviously, the citizens of the world see otherwise. Membership of the single market and customs union.
Yeah, once again, we expected this. Freedom of movement, same thing. This is all just
Freedom
EU.
movement. Well,
This
that's
is
a deal
the EU.
breaker for the working classes.
Actually, you know what? We should just stop splitting hairs and call this the EU party.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're definitely the most like EU centric. I mean, Labour. I know a lot of the Labour core votes. The hardcores will be pro EU, but Corbyn didn't really. He came off as like aloof at the, in the run up to the referendum last year. I mean, he'll cuck out for the EU, but he doesn't seem to be that enthusiastic one way or another. I think getting the Marxist utopias at the top of his agenda.
Yeah, he's. I do agree with the people who are criticizing him, saying he's a secret Brexiteer. I think that's actually true.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Let's keep going. Opportunities for young people. They don't say anything about that, just EU-funded schemes to continue. It doesn't say anything else.
Young people, I think they'll target certain young people, maybe middle-class ones.
No, they'll target certain groups. They won't target all young people.
Not young as a whole, but they'll definitely have like their share of the the well-to-do ones, the progressive ones. The Lib Dems are part of the Progressive Alliance. In fact, I'm going to get a window up. Get all the
parties. Actually, that's the point. Do you want to start maybe screen share the manifesto?
Yeah. Do you want to screen share it, or do you want me to do
it? I don't mind.
All right, I'll do it anyway.
Okay.
I'm still a whole noob at this live streaming thing, but I'll get the hang of it in due course. Screen share. Right there.
Yeah, there you go. Once you can get out the hole of mirrors, you'll be just fine.
Hang on a second. Present to everyone. I think this is how to do it without you cutting it off whenever you're talking. So that should be it.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, these are the first few things we went over. Opportunities for young people.
There we go.
Defending social rights and equalities. Yeah, that's pretty much what you'd expect most mainstream parties to talk about.
Yeah, that's all well and good. Environmental standards.
Although did something not come out with Tim Farron apparently being against abortion?
Really?
Did you hear it?
I never heard about that. Did he say why?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's not something I expect to see.
Well, it's less of a scum, so it's not a good source. But Lib Dem boss Tim Farron refuses 5 times to say if he thinks abortion is wrong, and then bashes media for banging on about his faith. So he's a dedicated Christian.
Right. So if actually now that I think about it, abortion's not really a liberal thing; it's more of a Democrat thing.
Maintaining environmental standards. The European Union has created the highest environmental standards in the world. Obviously, that's them sucking the EU off.
Well, what do we expect?
Yeah, on pretty much everything. I'm going to be honest, and I'll probably sound like a bit of a twit, but the environment is. I know it's not something that we should not take seriously, but when that comes to me in politics, it's not the thing I cover the most, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. It's just as long as it's not like, hey, let's rip up all the forests, Well, honestly, it's not my area of expertise.
Don't know if you know V, the Romanian YouTuber. He said made a video once about Austria plundering Romanian forests. So I don't know. Maybe the EU does well for the environment in some respects, but arguably North Korea does well for the environment when you think about it.
Yeah,
here we go. We must protect support for domestic industries such as farming, tourism, and the creative industries. We'll see the thing for farming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until the EU referendum, I'm pretty sure the milk, for example, that in my local superstore were selling was coming from Europe. But once the vote was, came through, for a few days they didn't have any milk, and then when it came back, it all had the Scottish flag on it and said produced in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't exactly strike me that any Europhile party is really caring much for British farmers, even though they'll pay lip service to it.
Well, well, they would care more about the industry in an international sense as opposed to a local sense, but who knows, maybe.
Yeah. Respect for the
Let's see here. Law
Northern
enforcement and judicial cooperation. Okay, so they're using European arrest warrants and ensuring maximum cooperation. Oh, and potentially cutting red tape for police, which is odd.
Mm.
I wonder what they actually mean. Say what?
You got the manifesto up on your page just now?
Yeah, I can see it right now. I'm reading off my own PDF.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to stop screen sharing for the time being.
Okay, but yeah, it's I'm wondering what they mean about that. Hopefully they'll expand on it later.
Yeah, well, I'll listen to more of the debates and all that as more comes in.
Yeah, there'll be updates.
Save our NHS and social care services. And they'll save it by what? Keep encouraging health tourism.
You what?
Well,
what are you reading off of?
Just at the next part, it's on page 14 if you've got your PDF thing open.
Well, you went all the way to 14 already.
Yeah, I'm kind of rushing through.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's more propping up the NHS. All right. Okay, here's the problem with propping up the NHS. The reason it's a massive drain on funding and still not working very well is because there are issues with how it is actually run. That is what needs to be fixed. Like, I've known quite a few people who've either worked for the NHS or who have relatives who work in the NHS, and I hear plenty of stories from them. There are quite a few complaints they have, not just about the way things are run, but where the money goes and all this sort of thing. It needs a serious reform if it is to be saved. Pumping more money into it will help for a while, but what it really needs is a reformation.
Yeah.
And this isn't me saying I don't want private healthcare, because like otherwise we're going to end up like the Americans.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I do like support the NHS, but there's like you're right about what you were saying about the way it's run. I mean, one thing I was thinking about yesterday was, those that get cosmetic surgery on the NHS, totally needless things. I think they should do away with that completely.
I didn't know there was a thing you could get on NHS.
Oh, it's true. My sister got a nose job done to make her nose smaller, things like that. But some people do get really expensive procedures done. Don't have any stories at hand, but it's things that cost like up to 20 grand.
Yeah, that's not something they should be getting. But I just want to check if you can hear this, because it's raining really heavily outside. Can you hear this on the sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a bother?
The sound, you're a little bit quiet just now.
Yeah, I mean, is the rain a bother? Can you hear it?
No. Well,
okay,
I can hear something in the background, but it's not a bother.
Yeah.
If it bothers the listeners, then. Oh, shit, listeners.
No, yeah, it's just really loud on my end, and I was making sure.
I want to give a big thank you to Scottish Individual for shilling my stream to his Twitter followers.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, if you've listened to Sargon talk about the NHS before, remember he was saying you can either have like the NHS running well, or you can have like mass immigration. And mass immigration is a strain on the NHS.
Yeah, well, that's just a simple thing. Is don't serve people who are foreigners in that case, or only do it if it's an absolute emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, maybe not foreigners. That would be like a thing, but make sure they got national insurance at least.
If they've migrated here, and look, Brexit Britain's not going to be like a total shut off to the world as like the leftists will make out to be, but
yeah, we're not getting back to
like
Fortress Britain
migrate here from Europe, then they can still use the NHS once they're settled in. But it's those that haven't paid like a single penny tax into the system and then reap the benefits of that system. And that's like one of the things that's a strain on the NHS as well. And the leftists don't seem to get that. Like they seem to think money can just they think money reproduces, basically. Grows on trees.
Yeah, it's socialists don't understand economics. If they did, they wouldn't be asking for what they're asking for.
Which is something
right,
we'll
anyway,
look more into when we get the Labour manifesto.
Yeah, in any case, let's skip on through this. Equal care for mental health.
Anything else on the Lib Dems you want to talk about?
No, I'm just skimming through the rest, some of the more other parts of the manifestos. Right. Put children first. I am just okay. So more spending on education. Pretty much every party is wanting to spend more on education. Honestly, don't see too much of a problem with that.
I don't know if itself that's not really an issue.
Yeah, the only thing that's would really bother me is
they want to spend on education. The education system here is going to shit under the SNP.
Yeah, got some issues there. Oh, that's interesting. The Lib Dems want to cut corporation tax from 20% to 17%. Yeah.
That's not very leftist.
No, it isn't.
Do you think Tim Farron's taken them sort of, I wouldn't say right wing, but he's centre?
Oh, wait, no, hold on. No, sorry, that was a mistake. They are reversing the lowering of corporation tax. The Conservatives cut it from 20 to 17%. They want to,
I was about to say,
they want to change that.
Lib Dems,
sorry, my mistake.
Corporations. No, it's fine.
Yeah, and
everyone makes
the usual stance between, yeah, I know. And of course, they want to stop tax haven stuff. To keep the country green, as expected. What else we got in here? I think the most egregious thing to talk about is actually just the EU. Everything else is, pretty much exactly what every other, Liberal Party is saying.
Yeah. If you start breaking the Lib Dems manifesto into more intricate bits, then I start caring less and less, because for me, my mind's made up on them, and the fact that they basically want to reverse Brexit means that they're unelectable to me.
Well, yeah,
to me, they're more like a sort of middle class party for disgruntled Guardianistas who want to block Remain no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, holy shit! One of their pledges. Yeah, sorry. One of their pledges in their manifesto is to ensure that every property in the UK is by the year 2022 provided with a super fast broadband connection and a download speed of 30 megabytes per second. Sorry, megabits per second. An upload speed of 6 megabits per second and an unlimited usage cap. Mate, my internet is shit. I'd vote for them for that.
Dude, but you'd be fucking the country in the long run.
Yeah, but internet. Mate, my internet speed is like 1 megabit per second on a fucking good day.
Yeah, it'll be like a heavily regulated fast internet.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wouldn't be able to, say anything lest somebody's feelings be hurt.
Yeah. So that pretty much there's not really much else I can say about the Lib Dems.
Yeah,
so
the only thing I want to check is their crime and policing section. I'm going to have a quick read through here.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stop reading through, but if you just bring up anything and I'll go along. Meanwhile, I'll go back to the chat.
Yeah. Okay. They want to increase the budget for policing and increase cooperation between.
Yeah, a guy in the chat saying you can get a tit job on the NHS, which is true. I mean, again, it goes to like, if people want to get this, it's fine, but they've got to spend their own money. instead
Yeah,
of using the state.
I totally agree. If you want that, go private.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to pay for your fucking nose job.
I know. Well, my sister had a nose job and she didn't need it. She thought she had like a big nose, but she didn't in particular.
Okay. They want to end the cap on police pay rise, make sure all officers wear body cameras on duty. And more diversity for the police. We expected that.
I can imagine. Gender non-binary police all across the UK. I mean, how the hell would they be able to fight crimes? Have you seen like Swedish police?
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like, do you expect criminals to take them seriously? If they have to stop the criminal mid-sentence, go, excuse me, it's Z.
Z. I know.
Yeah, okay.
It's a lot to remember for like a lot of people who, don't listen to this sort of nonsense online, because it's mainly people who are internet savvy that know all about this.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
only just appearing on the mainstream TV with Piers Morgan. He blows hot or cold. He can be a dick one minute and then he can totally hit the nail on the head the next. But he's been fairly good recently, and he basically stood up to some of these zealots, the non-binary ones. Yeah, I'm just quickly going on Minds.
Yeah. It's not a huge amount of other stuff, just a promise to reinvigorate British prisons. Not a huge amount of stuff on domestic. Okay, terrorism and violent extremism. Permit intercepts were justified and permit surveillance of suspects. Fines, grant flawed prevent strategy. What do you mean flawed? And prevent strategy is not too bad. Although it's mostly just because the fucking because MI5 spy on everyone.
Mm.
I want to roll back state surveillance.
Roll back state surveillance. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, by ending indiscriminate bulk collection of communications data, hacking, and collection of internet connection records.
Now I've got to be honest, that's something I would vote for. It's almost like, come on, guys, like
oppose conservative attempts to undermine encryption.
Mm-hmm.
What conservative attempts to undermine encryption? If anything, they're trying. Actually, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you watch Computing Forever much, but he's done quite a few videos about how the UK is becoming a bit Orwellian in that sense.
Yeah, hold on. Notify innocent people who have been placed under targeted surveillance where this can be done without jeopardizing ongoing investigations. Okay, that's silly. That's actually silly. It's like, no, that's kind of the whole point of surveillance, is that the people don't know they're being watched. If you know you're being watched, you're not going to... Like, if I knew my computer was being monitored for an investigation or something, I just wouldn't use it. I would have another computer that wasn't being monitored and get really good with Tor browser.
Yeah.
And of course, they want to,
Yeah, rolling back surveillance is quite an attractive prospect, but they would need to... it's the fact that they're anti-Brexit just makes them unelectable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so anything else on the Lib Dems, or do you want to move on?
No, nothing else that we don't already know about.
Yep.
All right, you pick a party.
Is this... Sorry, I never heard you.
Pick a party.
Let's go for Labour now.
Labour? All right.
Right.
The Labour manifesto.
Wait.
For the many, not the few. Right on the cover. Are you sure about that, guys? Are you sure about that?
I highly doubt they will be the many.
Right. Oh, okay.
Manifesto. I've got the forward, but...
All right, let's see what we want to...
Do you need to sign up?
Okay, we'll read through a bit of the econ. No, I've got it. Do you want me to... I'll send it to you.
Yeah, just send it to me on Telegram.
Okay. What do we want to check out here? Let's have a look through their economy, look through their Brexit, even though we know what the Brexit's going to be, and have a look through their healthcare, and everything else is pretty predictable.
Healthcare, I know what that'll be. Borrowing insane amounts to fund the NHS, which is kind of like taking, a nice hit, and then that'll come down to reality later on, I suppose.
Yeah, the foreword is Marxist as hell. Lots of "we are so rich, other people are not so rich. Let's change that." How about we?
Let's make everybody poor.
Okay.
Hang on a second, I'm just gonna get the chat thing up.
Yeah, they're not very succinct, are they?
Very what?
Their Labour's manifesto is not very succinct.
What does that mean? That's a bit of a big word for a thick twat like me.
It's not very quick to the point. There's a lot of fluff in here.
Yeah. A lot of dressing it up.
I don't know if it's just dressing up. It's just that there's a lot of words to get through, and I don't know how much of it's actually relevant. Yeah, the bit they've got in bold under fair taxation system reads, "Taxation is what underpins our shared prosperity. All of us, including business, benefit from a healthy, educated and skilled population with access to basic services and secure housing." This doesn't tell me anything about your tax plans, Labour. I mean, I don't mind sitting here and reading the whole thing, but most people who want to make up their minds are going to want some bullet points. At least that's one good thing the Lib Dems did.
Yep, so a fairer taxation system, that'll obviously be taxing the rich like hell, or those they deem to be rich.
You mean anyone who's slightly richer than Corbyn?
Exactly. That's where the sort of the high taxing starts, eh? Just a few thousand.
Yeah, right after his pay grade.
Ah, Jesus. Oh, fuck.
What did you do?
I pulled a muscle. It was a bit sore, but I'll soldier on.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure you can manage just fine.
Yeah, I've got a sore leg. We're going to have to call off the stream. Right, let's get on with this. Where are you? What page are you on the manifesto?
17. I'm skimming through a lot of this stuff here.
Anything in particular I want to broach on 17? A new deal for business?
Nah, once again, it's a lot of fluff. There are some specific things in there, but most of them aren't too relevant to what we want to talk about, so I'm just going past them. Widening ownership of our economy. What? Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of fluff here.
Brexit. I'm going to go to page 23 on this manifesto. Look up Brexit. It's the Brexit election, so that's like the go-to issue to look at.
Okay. Yeah, well, we know how they're going to negotiate Brexit. They're going to... Let's see, hold on.
Labour accepts the referendum result and a Labour government will put the national interest first. Accepts the referendum. I mean, I know Corbyn might be a closet Brexiteer, but a lot of his support are pro-EU as hell.
See, I don't think they are putting national interest first, because if they were, they'd be doing exactly what May would be doing, which is saying, this is the decision, we're going to get the best deal possible, but they're not doing that.
Yeah, well,
and we know they're going to do that. They're probably going to accept whatever deal the EU offers them.
Yeah.
And I mean, May is right on this case, like no deal is better than a shit deal.
Again, another thing to vote for the Tories, which, again, I'm not liking them, but obviously to these leftists, if you like vote Tory, then you're basically like a hardcore thoroughbred Tory, and you've got to like agree with everything.
Yeah, if you vote for the Tories, you're on the far right. If you vote for UKIP, you're on the alt-right.
If you vote for the alt-right, you're off the scale right.
Is there an alt-right party in the UK? I don't think
Not
there
in
is.
the UK. I imagine there'll be something somewhere.
Yeah, close to UKIP.
Something taken root. Well, the UKIP are alt-right because the leftists say so, so we'll just go go with that.
Oh, well, if they say so, must be true.
Yeah, they're always correct. If you disagree, then you're a racist. We will end Theresa May's reckless approach to Brexit. It's a stronger approach to Brexit. I mean, she has said she will be a hard woman to them to deal with. She won't just accept any rubbishy deal.
Yeah, which is exactly why everyone's going to vote for her.
Mm-hmm. Labour government will immediately guarantee existing rights for all EU nationals living in Britain. So, to be honest, I think that the Conservatives will do that anyway. They just don't like binding, what's the term, virtue signal about it all the time. But I don't think they're going to start like rounding up, EU nationals who are here paying taxes, settled in, who have decided they want to live here for life. They're not going to round them up and start deporting them or send them to the gulags, as Owen Jones would probably think.
Yeah, I've been saying this to like all the normal, like all my lefty friends. Like, there's nothing to worry about here. People aren't about to get deported just because they're from the Eurozone.
Mm.
They'll probably leave by themselves if they think they'll have a better life in the Eurozone. But for now, they're really allowed to stay here.
Mm. There's quite a few Europeans
Hold on a second.
in my town, and they seem to be happy enough. They don't seem to be. I've not spoke to many of them about like politics, but whenever I've said hello to them, they seem to be fairly happy here. But who knows? Maybe they're hoping for the SNP to take us out of the UK.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Nah.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we expected from Labour. It's a very soft approach. Can't see them getting much traction with that.
So they're talking about how like there was uncertainty around before Article 50 was triggered, but all the uncertainty was getting whipped up by like hardcore Remain supporters.
Yeah, it was a false scare. People who actually know the markets and who know economics give us a fairly good shot, and we are getting a fairly good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're talking about rights equality and social programs, which honestly I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of since the Conservatives came to power, this thing we like got worse. They believe education should be free. Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, right? If education's free, that means it's under control of the state.
Yeah, which basically means they can basically just indoctrinate the entire country with their messages, with their agenda.
On the other hand, it would stop bullshit. Like one of the reasons American universities got so bad is because they were able to offer whatever courses they liked, which is why there's so many different flavors of gender studies. It's because they know people will come back to take those courses and pay for it. And if people are willing to pay for it, why wouldn't they take their money?
Yeah. Bit ironic. I mean, I'm not a massive state supporter, but I would be thinking it'd be great if the American government just cracked down on all those cultish behavior by all those organizations.
Yeah. Okay. So in the work section, there's a lot of we want to empower workers. Oh, they want to ban zero. Okay, here we go. It's a fucking bullet point. Finally. I guess this is something they actually care about.
Yeah.
All workers equal rights
on this. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, as they say. But yeah, I do think if you've got a job, you do have a right to have like a contract there to be binded to that job. Of course, you need a
contract. That's the point. See, I don't want to ban 0 hour contracts. Which I don't know. Don't know. Ban. Maybe restrictions placed on them. Some people like 0 hour contracts. And legislates to ensure that any employer wanting to recruit labour from abroad does not undercut workers at home. That's interesting for Labour to say. They've never cared about that before. And repeal the Trade Union Act. I don't know too much about that act. Oh yeah, they want to empower unions quite a bit, and propose new public holidays. Doesn't matter.
New public holidays.
Oh, raise
We'll probably have
the minimum
one with
wage.
Amazon.
Oh my god. Okay, they want to raise the minimum wage for all workers over 18 to. They didn't say what it is, but they expect it to be at £10 per hour for 2020.
For
I think right now
over 18s.
living. Yes, for 18 or over. So right now the living wage for people over 18 is like £6 something. I can't remember exactly.
Wait, what, did you say living wage or minimum wage?
They want to raise the minimum wage to the living wage.
Right. I mean, it sounds all well and good in theory, but at the same time, they want to like raise corporation taxes so high, and it's going to like incentivize businesses not to hire.
Yeah, they're just not going to come here because it's going to cost them. Yeah, it's going to cost them like an extra third of everything for them to run a business in the UK. What's going to happen? All the international corporations is going to pull out because it won't be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll do what they've always done.
Making this work, they need to lower the corporation tax to something that's borderline non-existent. This is where the fairy tale economics of Labour come into power. I seriously hope they don't win. I mean, they shouldn't, but the last few weeks and some of the uncertainties with the Conservatives has got me a little bit worried. I suppose that's natural when when the day comes, you get a bit more worried than you should be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they want to double paid paternity leave to 4 weeks. That's all right. Okay, I don't mind that. Let's see, strengthen protections for women against unfair redundancy.
I'm going to go to
that's paternity leave stuff.
On my page, I'm going to go straight to the extending democracy part. So this is like devolution. Hang on a second.
All right. Okay, I'm done reading their workers' rights thing.
Here's one. We will reduce the voting age to 16. Now, no, I would not do that.
No,
I will
that's
use
silly.
myself as an example. When I was 17, I was fiercely pro SNP, pro independence, and obviously being a Celtic fan. I still am, but I'm just not into their shitty politics anymore. I know you'll be thinking, what's football got to do with this? But I just had this anti-British attitude, and I just wanted Scotland to be like a 32-county free Ireland and to be free and to see Britain just die because it was pure anti-British hatred. That was me at 17. And
now you're a unionist.
After that, yeah, I'm a unionist scum now. Mm-hmm. But even like when I was 19, I lost complete interest in independence, but I was pretty much, I didn't really care at that particular time. I was more interested in like the wider world rather than just Scotland. But yeah, using myself as an example, I mean, the left want kids to vote, and basically that's what they are. I mean, because they're impressionable and they're easy to get on side with the things that they believe in. Because as it stands, the youth are more progressive.
Mm-hmm. For now, that's changing.
For now, Gen Z's coming, but until then, actually, I wonder what that would be like in hindsight. Imagine they did lower it to like 16, and then Gen Z comes along and just like goes, oh, "Fuck you, we're red pilling the fuck out of this country."
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of the
so beautiful.
I've heard a lot of the people around like kids who are just like in high school and about to come out of high school, or most of them are fairly right wing leaning. Well, I say maybe not most of them, but a lot of the ones I've seen.
Yeah, a guy in the comments, Scottish individual, he had the same anti-British hatred until he was 19. I think he was a Celtic fan as well. I don't know if he still supports them. You can maybe tell us in the comments if you do. I mean, I still support Celtic FC, but I don't see eye to eye with the politics of like the hard left element in the support, which is pretty vast. And I really do wish they would cut out the sectarian signing and just focus on signing about Celtic FC. Same goes with Rangers fans. They should just like leave it out of football. I mean, one of our friends, Josh, I mean, he's a Rangers fan and he's probably the nicest person in the world, and he's like too nice for his own good, and he's got no time for this.
Is he still a Rangers fan? Like, I haven't heard him talk about that in years. Like,
He doesn't talk.
actually,
He talks about it to me. He talks about it
okay.
to me because I think it's because you're not really into football, so he won't really talk about it. Like he doesn't support them religiously. Like
That's fair
that's the
enough.
same with me. I'll watch the football, and if we get beat, I'll just say fair enough. I won't like start crying and screeching like some fans do. Scottish individual. I'm a Celtic fan. Just hate the politics. That's how I feel. I mean, I lost interest when Rangers went down a few years ago, and then when they came back up, my interest spiked again because it was crap without them. But
Yes, we truly are defined by our enemies.
mm. But no,
At least when there's an audience
it's
involved.
amazing. Like Celtic and Rangers, like they bring religious jihad to the streets of Scotland and Northern Ireland. Like I've got a. I know we're kind of going off topic. Hang on a second. It's getting dark in here. I'm going to put my lamp on.
Okay. Yeah, people bring odd things like politics into football's been happening for a while. It's not a subject to know much about. It's always something I've found quite strange. But hey, I guess they're becoming politicized over
It does
time.
exist actually quite a bit in Europe. I mean, it's probably slightly worse here. You know, the Celtic Rangers rivalry, although it's not as bad as it once was. Well,
Yeah, I saw a
as far as
thing
I'm
about
aware, I
that
mean, I don't.
in Poland. It's really
What was
bad.
that?
Like in Poland, football's really
Oh, yeah, I
political.
saw a Ross Kent documentary. It was like a third division match where they had to have riot police there.
Yeah,
But football and politics, I mean, Barcelona and Real Madrid are like two of the best teams in the world, and Barcelona are in Catalonia, and they're basically really wanting to get out of Spain. And Real Madrid are obviously like the sort of the royal club. I mean, I think the kind owns them.
yeah, it's odd.
Scottish individual, press 1 if you want me to sign an IRA song.
Yeah, let's not.
Nah, you might press 1 for the kicks. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I mean there is quite a few politics in certain. I mean it's not. I wouldn't call it epidemic in football, but you do get some clubs in some countries and Celtic and Rangers. I mean it's more sort of tribalistic rather than common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, when I was young and stupid, like I just did not like anything British at all. I mean I used to cringe when I was in Edinburgh and I'd see the Union Jack on one of the big buildings. But now it's just like I see when I look at Scottish nationalists, I see my old self and I'm like thinking, you twats. And you know what makes it worse? It's older people. You know, people in their 30s and 40s who are just so stupid.
Yeah, see, I don't mind the nationalism. What I do mind about that is the non-commitment of it. It's like they go, yeah, we want national Scotland, and then say, how do you feel about the EU? They go, oh, we need to stay in the EU at all costs, otherwise we're fucked. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, I wish whenever they're talking to like some SNP like politician or supporter on the telly, they should bring that up. You know, if Scotland leaves the UK to rejoin the EU, then we're just giving away our independence immediately. I mean,
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
like none of them talk about it. It really bothers me. Like, I'd love to see an independent Scotland, but right now it's just not going to happen. We need to wait a while and then see what happens.
mm-hmm. There are circumstances where I maybe would support it. Like if Scotland was to be incredibly red-pilled, then perhaps I would support it. And if England was like very socialist and Scotland was red-pilled, I would probably go, all right, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's like make some sort of red pill haven. But the reality is, it's Scotland that's like very blue-pilled.
We don't. Yeah, we don't get enough of the problems that come with the EU to actually be that level of aware of it. Whereas like North England gets all the problems and very little benefit, whereas we don't get that many of it. In fact, we get more benefits than they do. So of course, Scottish people want to stay in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in certain places, yeah. Scottish individual wants me to sing an IRA song, so sorry, dude. Oh, Father, why are you so sad? Nah, that's it. You've got a few lines. That's all you're getting.
Ah, you're a tease. You're a tease.
I still know the lyrics to some of the songs. That's how bad the damage was done to me when I was little.
Make it sound like you got touched or something. Right. So, should we get back on topic?
Yeah, we've kind of went off course there. But yeah, back to the manifesto. Do you still want to go through Labour? I mean, it is like a massive essay reading their manifesto. It's not to the point.
I've seen everything I want to see from Labour.
I'm just going to quickly cover their Scotland thing because that's obviously relevant to us.
Mhm.
Labour opposes a second Scottish independence referendum. Good for them. It's unwanted and unnecessary. It sure is, and we will campaign tirelessly to remain that Scotland remains part of the UK. So far, so good. They don't sound. I can't really disagree with that. It would lead to turbocharged austerity for Scottish families. Nice wording.
Yeah.
The Scottish Parliament will receive funding increase from our policies, which is basically just a lot of borrowing. So that's when the common sense starts going into fantasy land.
Yeah, we're gonna end up like Greece.
Yep, and I don't want to be like Greece. Poor bastards. I like Greece as well and what they've gone through. Dreadful. So yeah, we will set up an inquiry into blacklisting and urge the Scottish government to hold an inquiry into the actions of Scottish police during the miners' strike. And they've also got a bit about Wales, which doesn't really matter to us. Oh, what about Northern Ireland? Because Jeremy Corbyn has been known to have been like sympathetic to IRA figureheads.
I don't know.
You want to go over that?
What are they saying about Northern Ireland?
Well, I'll get the manifesto, but basically, like, see on my Twitter feed, a lot of them frequently like to bring up that Corbyn was in cahoots with certain IRA members and supporters, and they're worried that there'd be civil war again and the troubles would restart in Northern Ireland. The peace we have today in Northern Ireland is due to the courageous endeavours of both of those on all sides who have been brave enough to build it. Which Labour helped to negotiate as one of the greatest achievements of Labour in office. Guess so. I'm absolutely shit at reading out and talking as I'm reading it, so that's why it sounds like crap. We've had people in the chat. It's quite good.
Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah, 3 different people have been on. It's only me that's watching at the minute, but yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, more equal society. Oh, I need to broach a bit of this. I just want to drown myself in the virtue signalling. The Labour Party is the party of equality and seeks to build a society and a world. Well, there's the globalism creeping back in. World free from all forms of racism, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia. Jesus Christ! How dare we? Branches.
Is it weird that they put that in there?
Deus Volt.
Deus Volt!
Deus Volt! That's me going to jail.
Don't worry, it's not hate crime to say that yet.
I don't know if you've seen the same documentary. I'm sorry to go off topic. I'll go right back on topic. But Tom Holland done a documentary about the rise of ISIS and their agenda, and I think we could do a stream about that at some point to discuss that. If you're up for it.
No, possibly.
Because it is quite interesting. There's some information there that not many people know. But we'll do that another time.
Yeah. Okay, so are we done with Labour, or is there anything else we want to have a look at?
Nah, they're basically just doing their virtue signalling in the equal part.
Okay.
Their women part, obviously.
Yeah, we know what that is.
It depends on, like, if you're a girl that was in one of the Rochdale or Rotherham grooming gangs, then they don't want to know. But if you're a middle class woman that's not too very good looking and are upset about breasts being shown in Page 3, then they'll fight your corner every inch of the way. So
yep, pretty much what I expected.
So
This
nothing.
is the party.
That's Labour.
This is the party of feminists. All right. Okay. Since we're talking about nationalism, let's do the SNP. And I don't know. Honestly, don't know why they're bothering to run a general because they're never going to get in. Who the fuck in England is going to vote for the SNP?
Could you send me their manifesto if you have it? If you have a copy. If not, I'll just search for it myself.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. So just quick aside, one of the things
what the SNP are thinking. Now, just to recap the last election, I think they obviously see getting over 50 MPs. How was it 53 they got? 53 MPs. They saw that as a mandate to separate from the UK effectively. Whereas I saw it more as a sort of backlash against Labour rather than a mandate. Like I think a lot of people who voted no probably did vote SNP in that election, but couldn't bring themselves to vote Conservative. I think that's obviously changing now, and more people are going to vote Conservative here in Scotland.
Yeah, they did really well in the locals.
Well, they've done great. I mean, actually,
yeah. Well, then again, so did Lib Dems. Say again.
I bumped into one the other day who won his local thing. He's a councillor now, a Tory councillor, working class lad, not one of these wealthy posh boys from Eton that they'd want you to believe. Anyway, back to
hey, I got
manifesto.
Temporarily kicked out of the chat. I'm back in there, so I missed whatever was just said. I know there's two of me here.
That's strange.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and kick the other one?
I have to do this live and I have no clue how to do it.
Never mind then. I forget it. Just let him sit there in the corner.
There's no time like the present. I'll learn now. And people can watch my shame at being a total noob.
Yeah, in the meantime, there we go. Yeah, in the meantime, I'll start looking for stuff in the SNP.
Just making sure I check the right one.
Yeah, there you go.
Say something? That's good. That's great. That's excellent. Right, going to go back to the SNP's manifesto.
Yes, so it's basically everything you would expect. They are voting for, they want to say your vote is for more progressive politics, to either get Scotland out of the UK or to just increase our influence within Westminster.
Mm-hmm.
And
actually, this manifesto
they want to
2015.
You what?
Have they done a manifesto for this one yet?
Oh shit, it's 2015.
Although to be honest, nothing will change. Apart from obviously something about the Brexit fallout.
Yeah, this website, and that website's from 2015. That was wasn't that the first one that came up?
It will literally just be the exact same, apart from one part complaining about Scotland being dragged out of Europe against its will. Yeah, sure, every council region in Scotland voted to leave, but remain. My apologies, but yeah, there was a million who voted leave, and
no, they don't have a manifesto for this year.
They don't.
No,
all right. We'll just go ahead with their 2015 one.
Yes, now they've got one for 2016. I'll send it to you now.
That will be for the Scottish elections.
It probably will, actually.
Yeah.
Never mind. Well, we know what they're going to do.
Reducing child poverty. I had to try my Sturgeon impersonation there.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Scrapping Trident.
They have
better paid jobs.
They've got clip art, like actual old school clip art in their 2016 manifesto.
Oh, cool. I need to have a look at this.
It's awful. My goddamn mic.
Re-elect. Just going back to their thing last year. Do you know that that Sturgeon kept saying re-elect, but when she became First Minister, she was not elected. She succeeded Alex Salmond.
I think they mean
elected in her own right.
I think they mean re-elect the SNP,
the party.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah. But Sturgeon's like basically going on about how like Theresa May's hasn't been elected, but she just did the same as her when Salmond stepped down and Cameron then stepped down.
Yeah, there's really not a huge amount in here that we didn't know before. Yeah, there really isn't much here to talk about, in my opinion. Let's just move on. Okay, we got the UKIP, Conservatives, or the Greens. You what?
How ironic is that? We went through the SNP manifesto less than the other ones, and we're Scottish. How cool is that?
Well, that's because we don't fucking like the SNP. They're awful.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the SNP are twats. There's no way I'm voting for them. I would have when I was 17, but thankfully I wasn't registered to vote and I wasn't allowed to vote at 17. Yeah. Thank the heavens for that.
Where is the Greens manifesto? I'm on the website. I can't see it.
Oh, the Greens. Yeah, let's do this. Have you not downloaded the Greens yet?
No, I couldn't find it. They do have a manifesto.
Notice that the Green Party have joint leadership, one male and one female.
Yeah, need to keep that quality going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't seem entirely shocked.
I don't know if
we will campaign for your right to vote.
Do you know the guy who said feminists want to have their cake and eat it, and then they'll basically read over it?
Right.
Yeah, and then he went and joined this sort of committee that Caroline Lucas, who's the joint leader of the Green Party, was on, and she was basically not pleased that he was part of that. It's basically like he just did it for the sole purpose of trolling feminists.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like Sargon's done a few videos on it.
Yeah,
I think their manifesto isn't PDF. I think you just read it off their site.
Yeah, it's just a website.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. It's under guarantee.
Except working class white men, because they're scum. We can't work for them.
If you're not on benefits, you can get out. Wait, hold on a second.
If you vote the Conservatives, then every single tree in the UK will be chopped down and it will be turned into a concrete metropolis from top to bottom. Not quite. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they said that. Yeah. Phase in a 4-day working week. A maximum of 35 hours in it.
Excuse me, what? They want a 4-day working week? Yeah. Where the fuck does it say that?
It's on their first page. You need to go to the page, right?
Even the economy.
It's the big purple. It's number one, the big purple section.
Yeah.
It's a green economy that works for everyone.
A 4-day working week at a maximum of 36 hours.
Yeah.
That is what? Okay, how are people supposed to live then? Some people need that money. I know, okay, so obviously some folks are, maybe they're quite happy or they have a well enough paying job. They don't need to work any more than that. Others, not so much.
Yeah.
Very first job I have was paying that's actually not bad pay. It was in a warehouse at $8.30 an hour. And it was fucking shit.
Yeah.
But, you could live off that money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I had the job when I was working 4 days a week. I mean, I didn't go up to 5 just because of the hours were terrible. But as in for trying to phase in a 4-day working week, I mean,
no, that's silly.
They're thinking how do you keep this? Who's going to keep the country running essentially?
All right, so people need to work. Also, people just need to work more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So they really haven't thought this through. What about?
Mate,
okay,
the Green Party.
Yeah, I know, and they're never going to win, thank God. But that honestly doesn't make sense.
The Green Party are basically just a meme that we can laugh at. I mean, they'll never get in power.
Yeah. I mean, like, what about
But
okay?
let's talk about them anyway.
What about police who need to do overtime? What about nurses who need to be around all the time?
Uh,
What about other kinds of techies who need
they'd
to be
probably
on
force
certain
people. They'd
projects
probably
all the time?
get people to be volunteers. Conscription, work for the police, work as a nurse without pay, for the good of the state.
Yeah. Everything else here is pretty much exactly what Labour wanted to do as well.
So it's basically.
Oh my god, they literally call taxing the rich the Robin Hood tax.
Do they? Where's this? What section is it in?
In the purple section, second on the right.
Read more. Jesus Christ, they really care for the downtrodden. A Robin Hood tax on high value transactions in the finance sector. I feel like these people represent me. These middle class people, they represent me so much. That's sold. That's me voting green.
Yeah, we don't need to read their EU one because it's
naturally in Iceland.
Expected.
Green. So I'll come back out of this. Protecting. I'm going to have a wee look at their environment section. Then I'll move on to the EU after.
Okay.
You've got to give them credit for one thing. They do put things in bullet points, so you're not having to read a massive essay like Labour. So it's quick and to the point. I can sort of commend them for that, but I can't commend them for anything else, unfortunately. Environmental protection.
Anything worth noting?
I'm just on a wee gander right now. Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out on their environmental policy. You kind of know where it is with the green anyway. It's on the names on the tin. Section 3, membership of the EU. Well, this is obviously. I know.
Yeah, I didn't bother reading that. I just had a look at the 3 bullet points and left because we know what it is. It's either keep us out of it, and if we can't keep us out of it, keep us in the single market.
Protect freedom of movement. Yeah, obviously because the Green Party are one of these like fantasist parties that believe like everything's better when you can just go anywhere you want and let unlimited migration come in.
Yeah, it's like that's great if you've got the money to go anywhere you want.
Oh yeah, I mean I have nothing wrong with people like from anywhere if they're self-sufficient. But when people are economic migrants, and obviously with this refugee crisis, people who are from Syria and actually torn from war, I'm happy for them to have refuge. But these people who come from countries that are not in war, but obviously the lobbyists want to make you think that they're all refugees, but these are like groups of men. They shouldn't be coming in. And the Green Party would let them come in because, poor oppressed people will be the heroes for you, just like we're Robin Hood to the working class of the UK.
Right. Okay. So I'm reading their.
This is the
yeah. Okay.
NHS.
So I'm reading through their. Wait. What?
They've got a section on the NHS, the Greens.
No, I was reading their education bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just after the. Oh wait. Jesus Christ, I'm a bit out the loop. Education for all. Yeah, actually, I'll have a look at their education as well, and then we'll go on to NHS.
Okay. But yeah, let's see. Once again, they want to scrap tuition fees for people who are attending university. Once again, where's the money coming from?
Yeah, where is the money coming from?
Yeah, and address the teacher workload. One thing I do agree with is abolishing Ofsted, because I don't think Ofsted do a particularly good job. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, reformation would be better as opposed to abolition, but still.
Ofsted, I don't really know much about Ofsted. Education is something, again, it's another one of these issues that I don't really look at when it comes to politics. It's mainly, immigration, social issues, and a bit of the economy. Yeah,
Ofsted are the organisation that inspect schools and they perform the regulations. They're like Ofcom, but for education.
Right, yeah. Okay, that's something I'll look at later on down the line. So, NHS, I mean, yeah, we'll go into that next. Public services, I expect it to be very similar to Labour.
Okay, one thing.
Roll back privatisation of the NHS to ensure that all health. No. Well, yeah, but obviously they're going to have to be realistic if they want like to cut down waiting lists, and they can't have their crazy immigration policy. It just will not. The NHS just cannot cope with it. I mean, there's a reason why it's called the National Health Service. It's not the International Health Service.
Yeah, there's so many problems with the NHS, and none of them are addressing it properly.
My mum first pointed out that she thought the beginning of the NHS was like sometime it was when I think it was when Brown was in power, when he was Prime Minister. I think there was something that happened when she went to get her prescription, and she sort of saw it was going downhill at that point. So, it's easy to blame Tories for everything that's wrong with the NHS, but Labour have definitely not exactly done a good job by it either. Although that was under Tony.
Yeah, well, there's tons of problems. There's tons of problems that came with it, and a lot of those did come under Tony Blair. Like that was when it became really bureaucratic.
The hate is swelling in me when we discuss Tony Blair.
Right, let's see what else we got. Promise to young people.
Social care and elderly for all those who need it. As long as they're sensible economically. I mean, if they were to not be borrowing crazy amounts, and there was to be cutbacks on certain things that aren't like needed, like excessive foreign aid to countries that are doing well, or even to, a lot of poor countries. I mean, this is probably me sounding like an evil Tory bastard, but a lot of the aid doesn't get to the people. It just goes to the elite, the elites in these poor countries.
Yeah. Oh no, that's completely true. Like that happens so many times. Honestly, I think we should just take a policy of non-involvement when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Private charities exist for a reason. That's their job. It's not the government's job. Their job is to manage our country.
Yeah, should be the case for every country in the world. But I remember I was speaking to a woman recently. She was telling me about she was a leftist, but she wasn't like a bad leftist. She was a reasonable one, and she was telling me about wealthy African leaders in like Central Africa who have Swiss bank accounts, and they've got more money in those accounts than the economy of their country. So corruption is everywhere.
Doesn't shock me at all.
It's not just the Wicked Witch of the West that's responsible. Western countries have done shit things, but the way the left loves to
obviously,
just blame
but mate, no, that's a stupid argument. Everyone has. Literally every country in the world has done horrible things at some point in the past. It's not worth talking about. Unless you're talking about history, in which case it's definitely worth talking about.
Or in which case they would like to bring up the Crusades when talking about Islamic barbarism. When they say that, I might make a video about this one day, a scripted video addressing that point. But when they talk about the Crusades, when you're talking about Islamic barbarism, they basically might as well be saying, well, Christians done it a few centuries ago, so who cares if the Islamists are doing it today? It all goes round and all that shit.
Well, that is what they're doing. That's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
Or no, actually no. No, it's normally the point of, but we were just as bad at one point.
Yeah, but see, back in the days of the Crusades, there was no such thing as like modern civilization. Everyone was barbaric back then.
Oh yeah, it was violent as fuck.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not trying to excuse like Christianity and Christendom, but that's just the way the world was. The West,
honestly, it wasn't actually as unfair as people make it out to be.
There's definitely a lot of rewriting. I mean, I used to work in a shop that sold books, and I remember seeing this sort of leftist one that was sort of criticizing. It was an English guy that wrote it, but he was sort of criticizing the Crusades and was going, "Oh, what made them want to like go and steal Muslim land?" But it was a response to Crusades ultimately.
And maybe it was because the Muslims stole Christian land.
Yeah, well,
and we're trying to steal the rest of it quite actively.
They even sacked Rome before the first Crusades were called.
Yeah. Oh no, they had strongholds in France. They got really far in. It's like I don't think we need to. This stream's not about the Crusades, though. I could talk for ages about this stuff because I love history, especially.
We will definitely talk about this. Remember what I said about the Tom Holland documentary? And he basically went into some reasons why Paris is an ISIS target quite frequently, and other French places, more so than most of Europe. I mean, it does happen in a lot of places,
Mm.
But there is a very specific reason why France is a main target, and we'll go into that definitely.
Is that because they failed their raids there, and that's when they got pushed back last time?
There'll be one reason. There's several reasons, though. There's several reasons. It goes back far, and it comes back to fairly modern times as well. Did you hear that?
Yep, quite plainly,
Very cleanly,
clearly.
clearly.
I could
Nice.
hear it.
No one's on just now. Only one person's watching. That's me on that. I'm just like monitoring the chat.
Wait, does it count you as being a person who watches?
I think so.
That's weird.
Wait, I'll close the tab and we'll see what happens. If it goes to 0 watchers, then 0 viewers, then yeah. I can't get the live chat up on this app. I'll need to work with that another time.
Yeah. Well, either way, let's continue.
Yep. So where were we? The Green Party.
Yeah. So let's move on to Promise to Young People.
Promise to young people. Yeah. Let me just get back to my page.
Yeah. So
Promise to young people, right?
Okay. So basically, they want to lower the voting age as well. Tackle housing.
Move.
No, it isn't. And scrapping
It's about
age-related wage bans. Wait, hang on. They want to scrap age-related wage bans for and up the living wage to everyone. There's a reason those bans exist, and it's usually because people in those conditions aren't.
Of course, there's a reason.
You know,
because Britain is a vile Tory country that discriminates against young people.
Well, it's like, yeah, paying. Imagine trying to pay everyone on minimum wage £8. A lot of businesses just wouldn't hire young people. They'd just be like, nope, we're putting robots in instead.
Yep.
Because it's cheaper.
Honestly, these leftists, they just do not get it when it comes to economics.
Yeah.
I mean, it all sounds
they really don't.
good in theory, but this is reality. This isn't like the happy world that you can paint in some sort of like childhood cartoon. Reject the xenophobic prevents strategy. Oh, Jesus Christ. And pursue community-led collaborative approaches to tackling all forms of extremism instead. Well, some communities that have extremists in them aren't exactly forthcoming. I mean, you do get some, to their credit, that come out and out someone that's maybe got involvement, but you can't just leave it to communities. You never know like what sort of attitude is in certain communities, especially if there's a lot of Islamists involved. No, basically what they're saying is let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and terrorists will lay down their knives, their cars, and their guns, and they'll start singing with us, and they'll regret everything they've done. Yep, that'll work. Not.
Okay, anything else there you want to bring up? Because I'm done with this bit. There's not really anything else that needs to be said.
Yeah, the last part's obviously the voting age to 16. Honestly, I would rather have the voting age raised to 21 than 16, but ideally it would stay where it is at 18.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it being at 18.
Right, so yeah, that's me pretty much done with this. If there's any other thing on the Greens you want to go for.
Nothing we didn't already know about. More progressive stuff, increasing diversity, 50-50 parliament, tackling racism and discrimination.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that 50-50. If it became 50-50 by sheer, because it was meritocratic, then I wouldn't have a problem. But forcing it, nah.
Well, no one would have a problem if that was the case, but it's because it's not that everyone is. It's because they're not going to bring in people who are necessarily, the most skilled. It's because of what they were born as, which is the problem. Oh, I found another thing.
Because of their vagina. Or actually, no, it might be a male with vagina.
Yeah. Right,
anyway,
so protect the BBC and tighten the rules on media ownership, so no individual or company owns more than 20% of a media market. Protecting against anyone having too much influence or undermining democracy. What they're trying to do is to prevent a monopoly, and that's not how you do it. If they wanted to do that, they would create another channel to compete with the BBC and have them do it. I don't know why they want to protect the BBC. I mean, they do have access to some very important infrastructure, but honestly, I don't like the BBC and the way they're run. They could do with a lot. They need
My
a
view of
massive.
the BBC.
Pardon me.
We'll go
They
to
need a
that in a
massive
minute.
shake-up.
LGBTIQA plus. Also, they're putting all the letters in. They've not put P in there. Touch wood. But yeah, they're basically buying into all this, non-binary Marxist crap.
Oh, of course. Well, of course they are.
But yeah, for the BBC, there's like sort of three ways that I would take the BBC, and it's quite controversial to some. But this is what I would do. Either the BBC, because I believe that the license fee should be scrapped, abolished, do away with it. So the BBC from that point would either be subscription only, so those that believe in paying the license fee, they can pay their license fee to keep it going. And obviously those that don't pay the access fee won't get access to it, but they won't be charged as a criminal.
Yeah, no, they can just get
Number
ads.
two, they can get ads. That was my second point. I was coming on to that. They can get adverts like everyone else. Or number three, if none of those two work, it can die. So those are like the three options I would present if I was in power.
Here's the thing, though.
BBC.
Here's the thing. The BBC do have ads. They do have ads. Yeah, but they only have ads for their own shows, but those are still advertisements.
First party ads, though, that's pretty much that's what they are. So you can't really.
Yeah, but they still but they still play them over the fucking credits. They're still advertising. It's the same thing. It's just they're not getting paid to do it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't really see a problem. It's their own thing. If they were doing like third party ads and still pulling in a license fee, then that would be like a total dick move.
Never going to happen. They're never going to scrap the license fee thing, because the way it works right now is all the money, literally all the funding for the BBC comes from license fees. It is a misconception held by a lot of people that BBC is sort of partially owned by the government, and I understand why people think that, but it isn't. And if they ever try to scrap that, they're going to have to cut so much. Tons and tons of people are going to lose their jobs. Tons and tons of stations are going to go. Like most of the radio station, a lot of the radio stations will get shut down. Some of their extra channels will probably get shut down too.
There's a few things that I wouldn't mind seeing the back off. BBC Three for one. I mean, I know it's not on the telly now; it's online only, but that's very, very millennial, hipster, progressive.
Yeah, I know it used to be their crazy out there channel, and now it's just kind of not. Some really good shows that came on BBC Three.
I used to love BBC Three.
I used to be great back when all it hosted was like comedy and stuff. It used to be great, and then they just started rerunning Family Guy over and over again. It was like, yeah, okay now.
Yeah, I didn't mind watching Family Guy. I used to enjoy watching that sometimes on it, in some of their shows. But it became more and more sort of, the sort of progressive millennials channel. Whereas I'm a red-pilled millennial, so it wasn't really for me. And I think it's gotten worse since it went online only. There was this other thing. I could try playing it out, although there's no one viewing just now.
Nah, don't bother.
I'll just leave it.
All right, let's get on with it.
Another party? Anyone else?
Let's just do the Conservatives and...
not done the Conservatives.
Yeah, no, we'll skim over UKIP really quickly, because that's pretty much the end of it.
We've got the Conservative manifesto. Actually, you know what? Forget it, I'll just download it myself. There is a few things I'm not happy about, even though I'm probably going to vote for these bastards.
Oh, yeah, we already know what most of the things are. We should just skip right to the most egregious one, because we all know what it is.
The internet censorship.
Yes.
Keeping taxes as low as possible. Now that's good.
Wait, hang on a tick.
But yeah.
Wait a second. I've just discovered something. Interesting.
Do tell.
Legalize. They want to legalize to change planning law for shale applications.
Shale applications.
So they want to start. Yeah, they want to start digging shale again. That's interesting. Honestly, that kind of doesn't make sense, because I mean, like, there's shale mines in Scotland, and there used to be quite a few of them, but they don't have enough actual shale oil in them anymore to be worth digging up. I mean, you could power the whole of the UK for or the whole of Scotland, I forget which, for about 2 weeks with all the oil they've got under there, and that's it. So I don't know what they hope to achieve by digging that up.
Maybe they want to trigger someone. Maybe it's all.
I highly let's no, come on, let's be serious.
Yeah,
This is
yeah. Nah,
the Conservatives we're talking about.
yeah. I apologize for jesting.
Oh no, you can. I'm not berating you for jesting. I'm saying, never mind.
But yeah, if there's no value to it, then it is pretty confusing. But it seems to be, but unless they go into like, did they go into detail as to why they want to do it?
Nope,
No.
that's just something that caught my eye.
Hmm.
Okay. Of course, we know what their take on Brexit is. That's the bit I'm on just now, and of course, they're going to increase military spending, which I'm not against.
I know that am I. You know, CV patch and paraballoon. It's not what people want to hear, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
No, I was reading a thing.
If you want,
what did you say?
What I said. It was Latin. It was if you want peace, prepare for war.
Ah.
The Conservative government has devolved more English power to local authorities. So, well, I'm not English, but obviously that does sound okay. I was living in England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reading the section. Oops. Excuse me.
What page is it on the thing? And I'll go through it.
I'm on 32. And I'm on reading the Scotland section just now. So, as far as I know, they've.
Our precious union.
Yeah, they're saying that there's going to be no Scottish referendum until after Brexit, at least, which I completely agree with.
To be honest, I wouldn't even have one shortly after Brexit.
Well, no, it'll take ages. Brexit, it will take so long for everything to settle after this.
They need to wait quite a while after Brexit before calling anything like this, because we need to see how it unfolds before we can come to make any rash judgments. Because there'll be people who are too emotionally charged that might vote the wrong way. Jesus, I sound like an authoritarian when I say that.
You really do.
They vote the wrong way, so they're not getting a vote. But no, I think just
y'all keep voting until you vote the way we want you to vote.
Yeah, well, that's the SNP's way. But no, to put it better, wait maybe years, and we'll see what happens. If there's demand for it, then okay.
Well, it's always going to be demand.
Change a bit, Mate, then go for it.
Scotland. There's always going to be demand for it.
Well, to a degree, but you never know. I mean,
always.
For all we know,
always
in about 10 years' time, the Scottish Conservatives could have a Conservative First Minister.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Scotland's still pretty liberal.
It is. But too liberal for its own good. But yeah, basically this is the Brexit election. I mean, some people, are making theories that this is a sort of stealth second referendum. Whereas if the Conservatives win in a landslide, it'll be like, yes, hard Brexit.
I certainly hope so.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. I was hearing rumors about this, and it looks like it's true. Okay, so I'm reading through more of their manifesto, so skimming through the police section.
Mm-hmm.
They intend to create a national infrastructure police force by mixing the Civil Nuclear Constabulary and the Ministry of Defence Police and the British Transport Police. Interesting. Like, I heard rumors that was going to happen, and it looks like under the Tories that would be true. That's honestly not necessarily a bad thing, because the Ministry of Defence Police have a few issues, like within funding and application. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about the CNC. All I know is that the CNC are better guns, and that they are just nuclear, whereas the Ministry of Defence Police do that and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I don't know much about the Transport Police.
There's not a lot I can say. I'm not really well versed on that particular thing. I know a little bit more about Police Scotland, and obviously it's not as good as it was when it was, more localised.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite fascinating. But what about, say for example, political correctness in the police? Is there anything that suggests that they might Well, obviously they're not going to say it in a manifesto, I suppose. But do you think in time the Tories would probably drop all this stupid PC nonsense and allow them to arrest, suspects who might be from a different background?
I don't know. Oops! Oh, for fuck's sake! Sorry, my mic's in a bit of an awkward place right now because it won't fit anywhere else in my
That's
room.
right.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know how bad the problem is, like on the ground, if these are orders that are coming from higher ups, or if it's more of a problem with the courts. So I don't know.
suspect there'll be higher ups that are. It's probably in both, but there'll definitely be like a lot of situations where the police probably want to arrest someone, but maybe can't for whatever reason, or they want to
I think it's more likely that either they are arresting people and these people are just not getting convicted, or it's people on the ground who are being put in a very dodgy situation, and they've decided the safest option would be to back out.
Yeah,
which is something if that's what's happening, then those people should be being disciplined.
mm.
So now, I
Oh, no,
actually do care about police stuff, and it's like if you're a policeman, it is kind of your job to put yourself out there to maintain the peace.
I mean, I don't want to sound like someone who wants the police to go around like kicking the shit out of everyone, but they should be given a bit more leeway to bring troublemakers to heel.
I agree.
Them pussyfooting around because of my human rights and all that. I mean, if you look at the police in Russia, I mean, they take no prisoners at all. Pardon the pun.
Mate, the police in Russia are fucking nuts. It used to be okay. I mean, there's a lot of cases in Europe and some other countries where people would join the police so they could go around and kick the shit out of people and get away with it. In Russia, people used to join the police so they could kill folk and get away with it.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Have you seen a video that's Swedish police versus Russian police?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know a huge amount. I don't know a huge amount about the Swedish police. Honestly, from what I've seen, I would guess that they're on the same sort of level as ours, and they're just not equipped to handle the situations.
They put a lot of women out in confrontational situations just for because of the current year, and there's been like times where there was this aggressive man who I think probably was like a migrant, but he was like well built up, very muscular, very strong, and you've got like 4 officers, 2 of them are women, 2 of them are men, and they're like trying to hit him with the bat, but they're doing it very gently and they're trying to like back away, and then eventually they run away. Now, if that guy was in Russia, he would have had his shit kicked. And in fact, I saw in one of the videos showing Russian police, a man tried to hit the police officer, and he parried the attack and then just kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's more of a problem. That's not a problem with the police in general. That's a problem with either the individual officers or their training overall. I mean, like they do teach you some fighting stuff in the police, but they probably don't teach you enough. I think they teach you boxing.
That's Sweden. I could imagine Sweden being very, very, soft touch. When they're making people into police officers.
Very, if that's the case, do the Swedish police carry guns?
I don't know, actually. I might ask that question.
I will check.
Autocorrect. Yes, they carry
that. Google already knows what I want. All right, why not just pull the gun? If you're not strong enough, if you're not strong enough to take them down like that, why not just pull the gun and say stop or I will kill you?
Aye. But Sweden will be. I mean, Sweden is definitely the softest country in Europe, if not the world. And
yeah,
they would probably get in trouble if they were to do that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might look for Angry Foreigners videos, see if he's got anything more about the police. I mean, he did show the police struggling to take down like an aggressive suspect. I mean, it was really bad, really struggling, and obviously they're oh, I've lost my train of thought. Matters not.
Yeah, and I get the gist of what you were going to say. All right, let's get back to the manifesto.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I'd like to go over the internet censorship because this is concerning.
Yeah, I've just found that part right now. So yeah, the social justice types are going to get their wish. They're going to have a nice, safe place on the internet. It's just not going to be wielded by them.
Careful what you wish for. But
Yeah.
still, this is pretty dark, though. I mean, I'm not happy with this. I mean, I'm still going to vote for these bastards. I just know it. I mean, I do wish there was like another alternative, but it's just. I
Yeah.
mean, this
The
is the
thing
fifth
is, a
set
lot of these
election.
policies are not even going to work. It's like the one of the things they wanted specifically to do is reduce people's access to pornography. Never going to happen. Like people will jerk off to whatever depraved shit they want. They will find it,
Oh, they will.
and if you take it away from them, they will find a way to get it. They always have.
Do you think they'll be looking up people's like search history, you know, in contact with their ISP, and they'll arrest people based on the stuff they look at? Could you see that happening? Is that in the
Probably not.
manifesto?
I'll
Hmm.
check to see if it is, but honestly, I don't think so. Um, right now, it's to be honest, right, it's actually relatively like not difficult, but there are steps in place for the police to get that information and then make an arrest.
Hmm.
So they can't just do it. They can't just check. There's not like a registry. As far as I know,
Yeah.
there isn't a registry that they can just look up and go, ah, person X has jerked off to X videos. Well, we're paying him a visit. Yeah. It's like you have to be either under arrest already or
Yeah.
under investigation.
Yeah. Oh,
In
that's
which
good.
case, it's
I mean, most of the porn I watch is pretty vanilla.
good to
Most
know.
of it. Yeah,
Well then,
yeah, it is vanilla, the stuff I watch, and it's not really. But even that's going to like get, you know, I'm going to feel like a rebel just by watching it in the future. You know, once the Tories get into power, which they probably will.
yeah, everyone's going to sit there
Are you
fapping, going,
watching?
"This
Are
is
you
so
watching?
wrong."
Are you?
You
I'm
what?
watching Kama Sutra videos. This is so bad. Nothing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, oral sex, how naughty.
I know. They keep
Like
their
I really like
thoughts
being
on.
chatted. So, oh, show a bit of ankle.
Yeah. Anyway, let's clean up this conversation.
Yeah, let's get on with it.
So yeah, this is give away a bit of your liberty in the name of safety. Well, yeah, this is basically what it is. I mean, again, I don't see this working to like curb terrorism. I mean, the root cause is obviously certain states in the world which fund this. The internet is merely
Well,
what
this
a
isn't going to
tool.
do anything to combat terrorism. It's all to do about either control or it's to do about their own moral grandstanding to do with pornography and how people act online. Like they've said they want it to be like using the internet to talk as if they were talking to people face to face,
Mm.
which honestly is the problem that I have with social media. Like that's one of the reasons I don't use it because there used to be this understanding uh, that when you're online, it's not the same. You can say and get away with more. It's like
Mm.
because that's what that space is for. Whereas nowadays, people, if you say something on Facebook, people act like you said it to their face.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, I don't use Facebook anymore, but I
So we
used to
already
use it
have
a
that.
lot, you know, like back in 2010 and all that. And I used to, you know, get
Yeah.
into a few arguments. I used to post some shit, to be fair. But yeah, people take like offense and put vague posts out. Like for me, I mean, well, you know, the whole thing with the internet and people having it on their phone. I mean, yes, I'm guilty of this, but when I see people like on their phones and, you know, not, you know, aware of their surroundings, you know, that's something that I don't like the look of at all. So if I'm like in the doctor's waiting to be called, I'll never be. I'll just have my phone in my pocket.
Or you could just not have a smartphone.
I've often thought about that. I've still got a smartphone. I've had it for 4 years. It's the same. It's an iPhone 5. I'm just going to keep using it until it can't work anymore. I might get something basic next time. Dave Cullen, he's been using like a basic phone as his own personal phone for like 3 years now.
All right. Right. Anything else we want to add to that?
So yeah, the Orwellian internet thing. I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about the rest of the manifesto? Anything else to spot?
The world's greatest meritocracy. Noble words.
That would be, yeah, that sounds nice, but we'll see.
Mhm.
Because they haven't done a whole
Yeah.
lot in reversing the bad decisions of the previous government.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, then I
Yeah,
know
this
they
looks
pledged
healthy.
to reduce immigration a fair bit, which they haven't made any steps towards yet. So we'll see.
We'll see. But I don't know. I mean, this is mainly the Brexit election. I mean, big companies want
Yeah, it
mass
is the
immigration
it is
because
the
it's
issue.
cheap labor for them.
Yeah,
But even so, like leaving the EU, it's not going to be like massive, huge walls erected around the shores, keeping people out. People can still come here, providing they're coming for the right reasons. If they're here to
yeah.
work or to be or if they're self-sufficient in any way. But I think by um by basically going for a full Brexit, I like the term full Brexit rather than hard Brexit. This is basically what the working class generally want, especially in England, but also here in Scotland as well. They just want us to get out, to get on with it and get it done. And it's usually more or less middle class busybodies that want us to stay in or have another referendum.
Hmm.
But yeah, anything else? Wait, have a look at UKIP before we wrap it up.
Uh, nah, this has already gone on quite a bit longer than I'd intended.
Is it?
As
Yeah.
actually, um, we've been on for like an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, it says 2 hours on this page, an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I was only wanting to be on here for an hour. I've got other stuff to get on with, but
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely get something done about the a history stream at some point.
yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be really fun. A bit more light-hearted than being all serious.
Yeah, this was a pretty dry stream.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we even had more fun in that test stream we did the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well, anyway, for those that listened, thanks for listening, even though none of them are here now.
yeah,
Good.
thanks to anyone else who tunes in afterwards.
Yep. So anyone that watches this, I hope you've enjoyed it. So we'll be on again another time. Thanks for watching.
All right, goodbye.